Thank you all for coming. Yeah, I will. You could be doing so many things with your time. Not necessarily good things, but you could be doing so many things with your time. All right, Hare Krishna. Before I forget, and you'll see that this room will gradually fill up. There's a direct ratio. The closer you get to when we serve the nice Sunday feast, the fuller the room gets. And that's just the way it works. We've tried shifting the time to make it more convenient for people, but it always works out that the sound of those bucket lids coming off for serving the feast is the sound heard round the world. People come for that. But before I forget, someone can remind me again at the end of the day, at the end of the talk. But we, every year, for the last 50 plus years, we've gone downtown on New Year's Eve to chant the holy name, armed with drums and singers and kartals, these hand cymbals. And they're trying to get one last gasp from the old year, or maybe a little more juice from the new year, and we're going to talk about that. But after, none of that sparks for them. The bars and the bacchanal, whatever they're up to. And they see that the Hare Krishnas are there chanting and are having a good time, a really nice taste. They join in. So it's quite an event. It happens every year. Isn't it, Dravida Prabhu? Those Guru Krishna Prabhu, Balaram, Ramapati, they all can speak from practical reality. So if you want to shake off the bad effects of 2023 and you want to get auspicious benediction for 2024, you can join us. We meet at 10:30 in front of the Belmont. Is it Belmont it's called? What's it called? Oh, Balboa. I'm sorry. It's the Balboa Theater downtown. You can just Google it, Balboa Theater. We right in front at 10:30, yeah? You can probably, check with our Balaram. Balaram, raise your hand. You check with Balaram if you want to get a ride with us, or if you have a car, you can take some people with you. Everybody assembles there, and it's an experience that will float you all year long, guaranteed. So you're welcome to join us. That's tonight, 10:30 in front of the Balboa Theater. Okay, we're going to talk today, about this idea of New Year's and New Year's resolutions. What do they say? Out with the old, in with the new. Anyone know the English translation of Auld Lang Syne? As they sing it, then it's, let all the bad memories be gone, and it's a new hope. So I wanted to read, let me just get set up here. But it's a time of reflection, not just for those who are spiritually inclined. It's traditional. If we do the same thing, isn't it one of the definitions of insanity, so they say? To do the same thing, but expect a different result? If we do the same thing, what is most likely? What result will we get? You get the same thing, isn't it? It's completely reasonable. So people think, 2023, that was a rough one. Glad I made it through that one. So what are we going to change? because we don't want to go through 2023 again. It was a rough one. So we're going to do something different. So they make resolutions. Whoops. Hold on a sec here. And I happened to go to that great oracle of truth, Google. And I've got the top 10 resolutions for the new year. See if any of you have contemplated any of these. Exercise more. I don't know if they're in the priority. I have a sense that they're in the priority, but exercise more, lose weight, get organized, learn a new skill or hobby, live life to the fullest, save more money, and its corollary, spend less money, quit smoking, spend more time with family and friends. There should be another one here, spend less time with family and friends, but I think that's an unstated text. Travel more and read more. So those are the top 10 resolutions that people are making. And it's a good thing to think about it. I was thinking about this, and I did take some notes, and I'll try to stay on course. Rather than us just being a biological mass with a brain that is simply synapses firing, that consciousness is the result of brain function, and we're really just social DNA moving matter through time and space, or we're just the top of the food chain in the animal life. Animals eat, sleep, mate, and defend. The Vedas put it in simple categories. So we also eat, sleep, mate, and defend, but we just do it in a very sophisticated fashion. So we're really just polished animals. We're all biological beings only. That's the premise of the materialistic. Everything can be reduced to laws of physics and chemistry. But there's something that differentiates us from just gross animal life. We have a sense of the quality of our life. You don't find so many birds migrate. I think sparrows up at San Juan Capistrano, they always leave on the same day. So they say, I don't know if there's a parade marshal who lines everybody up and gives them a map. But they, people I think that snow goose, they go 3,000 miles to South Africa or something, from northern Scandinavia. So you never find one of those birds saying, hey, every year, 3,000 miles, it's a hassle. I'm done. I'm not going this year. I'm staying in Florida, or whatever it is, you don't find a bird saying every year it's the same kind of nest. I'm putting on a sun deck this year. I'm going geodesic, they just do things the same way. But we have a sense, human being, quality of life. Is this really the best I can do? Can I avoid suffering and increase my happiness? People calculate like that. Human beings calculate like that. So we are different in that we have a sense of the quality of our life. We're not just blind robots, DNA replicating itself. But if you think about that, which, when there's a passage, one year's ending, another year's beginning, there's a tendency to be contemplative, reflecting on one's life. Well, what to do? And some people think, well, let's change the body. Like, lose weight, exercise more, eat better, stop eating red meat, please. Stop eating meat and offer to Krishna. Anyway, how to change the things of the body. There's so many things with the body. It's demanding this, fix this. Okay, that's one category. But then you can move into the mind. Mind causes us much more trouble. There's a sense of solitary loneliness. Loneliness is one of the biggest issues in people's life. There was a man who was talking to himself the other day, a devotee I know. I said, who are you talking to? He said, I'm talking to myself. I said, why? He said, I'm the only one who understands me. Which I thought was a pretty good answer on one hand, you know. So, you know, we've all got our internal solitary life. And then there's there's fear of missing out. You go on your Facebook and everybody's having a good time at wherever it is, and they didn't invite you. What the? So there's loneliness, there's alienation, there's depression, there's anger. It's all kinds of. One of the biggest pharmaceuticals is antidepressants, and what's the other? And Prozac, either calm you down or jack you up. One or the other. So, and I'm not, diminishing the value or the importance of people's mental condition. I'm just saying there's all kinds of issues for the body. There's all kinds of issues for the mind. Well, let me make a resolution to fix that or fix this. And then there's resolutions about the world. There's homelessness. There's, you've got the Palestinian-Israeli war. So many wars. I think there's more armed conflicts going on today than since World War II, since they've been keeping a record. There's all kinds of violence going on around then. Then where do you want to start? So societal issues, there's just so many. And what else? We've got whether Trump, he's coming back at us, what that's, not to go political, but people are worried about all kinds of stuff. I saw a bumper sticker the other day that said, if you're not paranoid, you haven't been paying attention. And they got a point. They've got a practical point. Then there's just the effects of time. I'm getting old. Everybody's time is... I got to keep an eye on the time. But here's something you can do for fun. If you meet, next time you're talking to a kid, we can start with this little junior right over there. Hello there, young man. Now he's thinking, what's up? Hey, thank you very much, friendly kid. If I were to ask him, how old are you? I immediately put his hand up 4. And if I say, really? You look older. I thought you were maybe even 5 or 6. He becomes happy. You see that? Oh, I'm cool. He thought I was 5 or 6. Okay, so he wants to get older, right? And you find kids, I'm 4.5. I'm 4 3/4. They're leaning into it, right? Now, find someone who's gray hair, a little stooped, got a cane. How old are you? Oh, no, let me guess. Suppose a person is 65. What should you do when you guess their age? Anybody want to guess? It's almost that sweet thing as hearing, oh, you must have lost weight. It's sweet words. You say, oh, really? If they're 65, you say, oh, I thought you were 60. And they become very, it's pep in their step. So I've done a field study. And those who want to get older, that's one spectrum. And you got the other side wants to get younger. So where do they meet? People want to get older up to about 24, 25, maybe even up to 30. But they don't want to get older than that. And then you got the people that are oldsters, 1 foot in the grave, like me, or whatever it is, They want to get younger. And that goes till around 35, something like that. So really, there's only about 10 years, let's say from 25 to 35, that people are content with their age. Suppose on average, people live to 80. It's an easy number to work with. That means there's only 1/8 of your entire existence that you're comfortable and satisfied with your body and your age. That means there's not, what is it, 7/8 that you're not. What's the percent? 7/8? What is that? That's, I don't know, whatever it is. It's like 80% plus, something like that, of your life. You're not happy with your bodily condition. And what to speak of the mind? It's a parade. Hare Krishna. So the question, there's so many issues. There's bodily issues. Let's take resolutions to fix that. There's mental issues. There's societal issues. There's political issues. There's between family and emotional issues. So many things. What to do? And how much can we actually influence? I mean, sure, I can protest with my one sign, or I can cast my vote, or, you know, for that. What is speaking of climate change and the environmental issues? That's one of the biggest anxieties for people under 35. They think, geez, you're dumping this mess on us. So what about that? I mean, you can shut off the faucet when you're brushing your teeth. Okay, I'm not deprecating any of this. But how much impact does that really have? If I want to use my time with the best effect, what to do? Isn't that a reasonable question? Anybody offended by what I've said so far? Okay, give me some time. I'll get to it. No. But there's a story in one of the Puranas, one of our Vedic literatures, one of the source books from our wisdom sources in our tradition. And in one of those Puranas, it tells a story to make a point. One sage or sadhu, one rishi, is speaking. And he says there was a man who had 3 problems. He was blind, poverty-stricken, and no family. So, you know, that's a weight to carry. Blind, poverty-stricken, no family. And he was given one wish. Now, he cannot wish for unlimited wishes. Nice try. He's got one wish and 3 big problems. Anyone want to guess what he wished for? And someone who doesn't already know the answer? Nice try, Dravida. Anyone want to? Blind, poverty-stricken, no family, no children. And he's given one wish and can't wish for unlimited wishes. What does he wish for? He wished, Ram, you want to say? He wished to see his children from the roof of his palace. If he's on the roof of his palace, he's wealth issues solved. If he's seeing his children, then he's got sight. And hey, he's got children, he's got a family. So with one wish, he solved them all. Our premise is that, of this talk today, is we're going to share with you what is that one wish that can solve that is the underpinning of all the other anxieties. What is that one wish, that one resolution that I can make this year, or next year, tomorrow, that will change things? Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on the timer because I wanted to take some questions. Let's think about because it's New Year's. Well, what's actually new? Sometimes people say, Bhagavad Gita, which is our cornerstone, like the Rosetta Stone of the Vedas, it lays out the principles. That's a whole other talk. Time, material nature, the living entity, the Supreme Lord, and karma. These 5 factors create everything. The combination of those 5 factors creates reality. Is reality. And they're all profoundly defined in Bhagavad Gita. But some people will say Bhagavad Gita was spoken 5,000 years ago. It's spoken on a battlefield when they were shooting arrows. Of course, they were also sending mantra weapons, brahmastras, which are far more finely tuned than your atomic bomb or cruise missile, or even your, what are those drones? They could hit that. They could kill Maj Parikit. It's a whole story. Within the womb of his mother and leave his mother untouched. That's an example of mantras, weapons, brahmastras. So they were very sophisticated. But some people say it's old-fashioned. But even in the Bible, it says, what? There's nothing new under the sun. What's new? Birth, death, disease, old age. Those are universal since time immemorial. Lust, greed, anger, envy. Has that changed? Passion, ignorance, piety. Nothing has actually changed. There was a professor, very nice man, Dr. Northcraft. We had a small center at University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, and he used to come regularly. And it's a long story. The short version, there was a special speaker that night, and he wanted to come. So he had to call and cancel. He was the chair of the psychology department at University of Michigan, 40,000 students. So I heard him on the phone say, no, I can't come tonight. I have to see my psychiatrist. And he was talking to he was talking about one of our senior monks. And I was in the office. He was using this before the days of cell phones. So I heard what he said. And I said, well, that's interesting that you would say that. You're the chair of the psychology department, University of Michigan, and you're calling Bhagavad Gita the essence of psychology. He said, I'm not just saying that lightly. He said the 13th to 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is the most profound understanding of human nature I've ever read. And it's true. You study Bhagavad Gita, the last 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, it's the best understanding of human nature and interaction and what drives us. Subtle, forget the id and the ego and all that from Freud. You read Bhagavad Gita and you'll understand you'll understand yours. It's both, it's both descriptive and prescriptive. In other words, it describes why we're feeling like we're feeling. And if you act in a certain way, you'll get this type of mental state. If you act in a different way, you'll get a different mental state. So and the reason you're feeling like that, because you're acting like this. So it's descriptive. Why do I feel like I feel? It'll explain why in the Bhagavad Gita. And what to do about it. How to change, how to improve, how to come to a higher level. It's descriptive and prescriptive. So there it is. So on one hand, nothing has changed. On one hand, it has been going on, like the Bible says, I think it's Ecclesiastes or whatever it is, nothing new under the sun. Okay, so new year, what? It's just the same old retread. But on one hand, I'll give you an example, and I mentioned it last night or Thursday night. If I have a telescope, a small spyglass captain's telescope, Oh, my little friend. Thank you. There's an attentive parent. I appreciate that. We'll be done in a sec. So, if I look through the little end of a telescope out the big end, suppose I'm looking at Suresh, you're the farthest away, through my telescope. I'm looking through the little end out the big end. How do I see Suresh? Anyone want to hazard a guess? Huh? Don't overthink it. What happens? Yes, young man.
You see him closer.
I see him closer. I see him bigger. 10 points for you, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. Your Bhakti points, you can cash them in at Krishna's lotus feet. If I take that telescope and switch it around, and I look out the big end, out the little end, someone else, what happens? How do I see Suresh G? That's smaller and shorter. Way to go, 10 points. We got both ends of the spectrum. We got the senior and the junior. There it is. It's common sense. Now, my question is, did Suresh G's size actually change? He's bigger, smaller, big. He's like a yo-yo. He's saying, hey, enough of that. Stop with the telescope. No, no. He's the exact same size. Has my eye changed? Has the optic nerve changed? Has the processing in the brain changed? Nope, nope, nope. What's changed? Has the instrument changed? I'm still using a telescope. What's changed? Simply the angle of vision. The angle of vision has completely changed. So we're talking about what's new. We're making the argument that on one hand there's nothing new under the sun. It's the three modes of nature. It's birth, death, disease, old age. It's lust, greed, anger, envy. And that's the kaleidoscope that makes this world. But if we learn to change our vision, remember I said three problems, one wish. If we learn to change our vision, then everything changes. That which there's nothing new in this world, everything becomes new. Someone was telling me the other day, they were, and there's a name for it which has slipped my mind. He got his degree in waste management, which is how to turn toilet to tap, you know, the water. But he was responsible, or was one of the team that made the largest desalination plant. It's on the coast of Saudi Arabia, you know, where they need water desperately. They're turning the desert into arable land. So they have a desalination plant. And the thing costs like, I don't know how much. It was like $2 billion. And it makes a lot of water. But, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's like a swimming pool compared to the Atlantic. What's needed? But hey, you know. But now think about this just for a minute. Can anyone think, where is the biggest desalination plant in existence in the world? We like a little suspense. Suspense makes the brain churn. So, all right, you can go. The Pacific Ocean. The sun is shining, and it's pretty far out when you think about it. There's a certain degree of salt. It controls the distillation rate. It acts as a preservative. And the sun is shining. It draws the water. Not only does it draw off distilled water, but then it carries it to the mountains. It pounds on the mountains. When it pounds on the mountains, it gets all the minerals, all the nutrients, and it flows down onto the fruited plain, waters everything, feeds everything, picks up all the waste, carries it to the bottom of the ocean, drops it on the bottom of the ocean, and it keeps going. And it's a free energy machine. As long as the sun is there, you know, it's desalination, and it's unlimited. It rained in San Diego 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, not this last rain, but earlier rain. Forget LA County, forget Orange County, forget Riverside County, forget San Bernardino County. What's the other one out there? There's another, the Inland Empire, Imperial County. Let's just take San Diego. It was billions, with a B, billions of tons of water floating in the sky. So if we stop and look at it, if we have a different angle of vision, we will see that my guru, the founder of the Hare Krishna movement, he said one time, sitting in a room with some guests, and said, "You think you're sitting on the floor? I'm sitting in the hand of Krishna." Oh, the fact of the matter is that everything is going on. Someone said to Srila Prabhupada, the founder of the Hare Krishna movement, "Can you see God?" He said, "That's not the question." He said, "The question is, why can't you see God? The mystic power of God is all around us." So there's another classic example in the Vedic literature that if I'm sleeping, if a man is, or a lady, if someone is, let's say this, if someone is sleeping and They're dreaming that a tiger is coming and attacking them. I mean, people can die from heart attacks in dreams. I mean, you can say there's a daydream and a night dream. They're both dreams. Sometimes, we think this is real, but at night we forget all about this and we think the nighttime dream is real. What's really real? That's another issue. But suppose we're dreaming. Suppose my friend is dreaming, and in the dream, he's being attacked by a tiger. And he's calling out, "Tiger, tiger, help!" Completely inconsolable. Sometimes you hear people shouting in their dreams. So do I, being a kind-hearted person and wanting to relieve the distress of my friend, do I get a sword or a spear, whatever implement I think will do the job to take care of the tiger? And do I lie down next to my friend, go to sleep, and enter into his dream to kill the tiger? Is that an appropriate approach? Anyone advocate that? We don't have any dream advocates. What will happen? I'll also start dreaming about a tiger because I went to sleep thinking about it, And we'll both be in anxiety, tossing and turning. What is the proper remedy? If someone is lying on their bed, completely fearful, dreaming about being attacked by a tiger, what is, if I want to remedy their condition? Don't overthink it. What do? I just wake them up. It's the easy thing. Hey, wake up. Oh, jeez, what a relief. Thank you so much. Why in the Vedas is wisdom or knowledge compared to shoes? Usually shoes, in many, many cultures, oh, you know? Oh, you were just stretching. Okay. Why is wisdom compared to shoes? Usually considered an unclean thing. Why? Anyone want to hazard a guess? Other those who already know, and they're going to take the suspense out of it? He's not guessing. I don't believe it. You're psychic? All right, just to make you satisfied. But you've got to set it up properly. Why do I need to wear shoes? If I'm on a path and I'm barefoot, so many sticks, so many rocks, pieces of glass, so many problems. Okay, so I need to wear shoes to walk a long distance on a path. What is the comparison?
So knowledge facilitates your passage on the path.
We are all on the path of life. And anyone who's lived long enough, there's issues. Anybody here have some surprises along the path of life? I had this Dr. Northcraft, the psychologist in Ann Arbor, Michigan. He was from the Ozarks, born in the Ozarks. He had some nice folksy sayings. So somebody was saying, if I'd only done this, if I'd only done that, things would have, we think, well, okay, I turned left. If I'd only gone right, everything would have worked out. So Dr. Northcraft's response was, there's more than one way to be wrong. We think if we'd done this, no, you would have had a different set of problems. Problems are there, no doubt about it. So many issues. But with wisdom, you can cross over those. Similarly, we'll give you one more. Why is wisdom in the Veda? Now, you already had your turn, Davida. You're out of the game. We're old friends. I can joke with him. So, why is wisdom compared to a boat? They also compare can a dog paddle across the ocean? Dogs can swim, for some short period of time. A small, like dog paddling. A dog can can tread water for some time. So why is wisdom compared to a boat? Yes,
Every once in a while you get new wisdom, and every once in a while you get a new boat, because sometimes it gets a little too small. So
Okay,
maybe
wait.
you get a...
I appreciate your enthusiasm. It's a good guess. But in the context of what we're talking about, when I want to cross the ocean, people swim across the English Channel, isn't it? They still do that? Somebody, I think it's called the Straits of Florida. They swam from Cuba to the tip of Florida. I don't know whether the Keys or whatever. But, you know, anybody swim across the Atlantic Ocean?
No.
Pacific Ocean?
Yeah.
If you're serious about crossing the ocean, what do you need?
A boat.
You need a boat. So this is considered an ocean of difficulties. This material world is an ocean of birth and death. And it's said that the great saints and sages have crossed over that ocean, but they've left their boat behind for us. And what is that boat? That boat is their instructions. So the simple point we're trying to make is that there is, consider this, there are so many issues. All of us are vexed with issues. Political, emotional, psychological, climate change, you know, as we said, so many issues. And because we're human beings, we can think about doing something about it. We don't just suffer or tolerate or don't even, dogs don't even crane their neck. You know, a dog, you never see a dog looking straight up. Well, what the hell was that? No, you know, I'm sorry. But, you know, they're the way that they're anatomically created, they only can look like a 45-degree angle. They don't look up. Most people are just, you know, if I can just get to Walmart and back, life is good. So, but what's really, how's it going on? That's human form of life, as we said in the beginning. So assuming I have the human form of life, assuming I'm aware of quality of life, as soon as I have a little, in Italy they have a saying, there's always a rock in the shoe. You know, if you're trying to walk, you got a rock in your shoe. So we should be, wait, is this all there is? What, I saw a bumper sticker that said, what is it? Live well, leave a good corpse. What? You know, live hard, die young. What? I saw another one. I love these things because it's what people are actually thinking about. The other, what did it say? The one who dies with the most toys wins. I was thinking, hang on a minute. The one who has the most toys still dies. Where do the toys go? The dimwit relatives inherit the toys. Who knows where, you know, where have you gone? Who knows? So if we're contemplative or contemplative, whatever, reflective, reflecting on life, and we know that, well, whatever I'm doing, it's the same old thing, I'm going to get the same result, and I'm dealing against the same factors, birth, death, disease, old age, lust, greed, anger, envy. I got to do something new. And that something new is that new angle of vision. Some cornerstone elements of that new angle of vision. We've got a few minutes more. Ask somebody, who are you? Who can I ask? Well, I don't want to embarrass anybody. Oh, when he's a devotee child, he might actually know the answer. So I gotta, no, you ask somebody, who are they? Oh, well, you're pulled over by the police. May it not happen. Speeding, whatever it may be. Maybe the policeman wants to wish you just a happy new year. It could happen. Don't count on it. And he asks you, who are you? Well, what do you do? Who are you? License and registration, isn't it? You pull out your license and he sees, okay, you're this gender, you're this age, you got brown hair and blue eyes, and well, that's who you are. Is that who you are? According to real wisdom? The boat, the shoes? We're not this body. And I always ask it, and I'm going to ask it again. What is the riddle of the Sphinx? The riddle of the Sphinx, what animal walks on, 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at noon, and 3 legs in the evening? Anyone know? 4 in the morning, 2 at noon, 3 in the evening. What animal? Ah, yes, young man. What? He says a human being. Defend your answer, young man. Hold on.
Oh.
Now you're amplified. You better get it right.
In the morning is when the human has two hands, and then
And in the morning.
four, and then.
Wait. So morning, 4 legs? How?
Because it's a baby, and then.
He's crawling as a baby.
baby.
Okay.
And then
Now, hey, work with me. Work with me, my friend. Now, noon, 2 legs.
Yeah, and then as it grows, it increases. So.
You haven't told me 2 legs yet.
2, then 4.
Wait. 2. We got 4 first.
Yeah.
Then what happens at noon?
2 more.
2. Now, how do you have 2? You don't have 2 more. You got that would be 6.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. So 2. So you're grown up. You're standing up.
Yep.
Okay. I know you know what you're doing. So now, what is 3 in the evening?
When they come to old age.
Okay, but how?
A cane and 2 legs.
A cane and 2 legs. Well, we've got Exhibit A here somewhere. Right here. I need this. So the body's changing. I mean, my parents went to their, I don't know what it was, 50th high school reunion. Oh, Skippy was in a walker. Curly was bald. My mother said it was so depressing. Everybody had to have I mean, they've passed away now, but they had, which proves my point, but they had, everybody had to have a name tag. And they'd go up, put their reading glasses on, and they'd, oh, hey, how you doing? Without the name tag, they had no idea who was who. So this body is changing. But the consciousness within, like a car and a driver. So first thing, when you walk out this door, if you don't know it already, we're not this body. We're the soul riding within it. Therefore, there's a whole telescope, angle of vision. The whole thing changes. If I think I'm trying to make myself happy by pleasing my body or pleasing my mind, I'm wasting my time. I'm pouring, what do you call it? Throwing money on a fire. It's no use. Then, here's another one. Can anyone name for me, we got a few more minutes, can anyone name for me any place or thing with order, symmetry, and design? I'll say it again. Order, symmetry, and design, where there is not intelligence behind it. Somebody, a group of people made this. I mean, even a pencil. There's a lot of work goes into a pencil. You ever think, how do they get that lead in there? There's a lot of work goes behind a pencil. You got to put the eraser on the hole. It's a simple thing. Paper clips. Believe it or not, there's an inventor of the paperclip. I mean, think about it. But somebody came up with it. So I don't think he got the Nobel Peace Prize for it, but, somebody had to come up with a paperclip. So my simple point is that can you, and I swear to you, I've asked this at MIT, I've asked it at the University of Chicago, I've asked it at UC Berkeley. Nobody can give me an answer. Now, look at this world, which is one of the most finely calibrated, interdependent machines in existence. The systems, the biological systems. I mean, there's rivers now. How the air is moving, and there's so many rivers in the sky. How the air is moving, how the earth is actually like a body. I mean, it's far out what's going on. I mean, you all know that. Talk to those guys up at Scripps. So everything else I've experienced where there's order, pattern, symmetry, design has an intelligence behind it. And yet the most complicated, complex, vast machine, the cosmos, that has no intelligence behind it. It happened by chance. From a singularity or a big bang or by, it's random laws of physics and chance. Anyone want to share with me the seamless logic of that? Help me out. How is there not How is that not the most logical conclusion that there's intelligence and a design, and design means designer? So, I mean, we could go down a number of these things, in or out. But when you, okay, you made the right choice. Here's our proposal for a resolution. That our consciousness, yeah, grab a seat, otherwise it's distracting. Thanks. Yeah, just sit. We're almost done. You can not sit next to each other for a few minutes, you'll be all right. She's not going to run off, don't worry. So the simple point is, it's a new year. It's a time for reflection. It's the special gift of being a human being. Now, what to do to change? Assuming that we want to improve our life, we want to be a better person. We want to, whatever our motivation, positive motivation may be, we can have that as a human being. But rather than just shuffling the chairs on the deck of the Titanic, why not do something that actually matters? Why not do that one thing that we actually have control over? Whether I vote for Trump or not, whether I turn off the tap when I'm brushing my teeth, that's all, whatever. But it's not going to really change the world. If I throw a rock into a pond, that impact sends out it radiates circles that go, If we actually change our consciousness, one of our great teachers, one of the great acharyas or teachers in our line, used to say the only shortage in the world is a shortage of God consciousness. That change will change the world. That change will change our world. It will send ripples out that impact the entire existence. So if we want to make a resolution, that's the kind of resolution we should make. Then the next logical question, and I'll be short, is what do I do to change my consciousness, to clear my vision, to get in that boat, to put on those shoes of wisdom, to travel the path of life? And it's simple. One time someone was making something so complicated. We tend to complicate things. Usually because we want to avoid the logical conclusion. So it's a lot easier to come up with a more complicated answer. So my teacher asked who to pick on. I'll pick on you. Please touch your nose. No. No, I meant you. No. No. You have to go like this. In other words, you were right. It said just touch your nose. But we make things so complicated. So does anyone where is somebody with some japa mala, these beads we chant on? Anyone have their beads with them? Okay, hold those up. And what do you have inside that pouch? There's Rama's faster. See these prayer beads? You will find in yoga, there's different processes. And one of those processes, the perfection of yoga by all the different asanas and pranayama, the breathing exercise and sitting posture, it's meant to draw, like a tortoise draws its limbs in. You're meant to draw all the distractions. Your senses are out there, roaming around. You pull them all in, then you fix your mind, ultimately on the self and the super self within the heart. And it's called samadhi, to fix the senses on one point. But they miss it. So I met a man who said, I had samadhi on a Coke bottle. Fixed all his mind. But that's not what samadhi is all about. If one chants on beads, the holy name, and it's written right there, the Hare Krishna mantra. There's many, many mantras. This is called the Maha Mantra. Like if I have 16 30-seconds, I can reduce it to what? 8/16, to 4/8, to 2/4, to 1/4, the lowest common denominator. The essence of all mantras in this age of Kali is this Maha Mantra. All of the Om, Shri Ram, whatever your mantra is, Om, what is it? Mani Padme Hum that the Buddhists chant, in the Himalayas. All of those mantras are focused, condensed, and the most potent in the Hare Krishna mantra. And you will find the Catholics chant on rosary. The Buddhists are chanting on beads. The Muslims are chanting on beads. Jewish are chanting on beads. They're chanting on beads because it's the sense of touch, the ear, the tongue. So many of the senses are fixed on hearing the holy name. If I touch fire, if I take a piece of metal and I put it in the fire, what happens? Does it stay cold matter? Fire means heat and light. If I put a piece of metal, they're byproducts of fire, heat and light. If I put a piece of metal in a fire, what happens to it? I didn't ask you. What does it become? It gets red hot. She said it right here. It becomes red hot. It becomes, by association with fire, it becomes like fire. If you want to do one simple thing, try it for a month. What do they say? Home demonstration or your money back guarantee? Home demonstration or your karma back guarantee. Try chanting on these beads. So I don't have any beads. We sell beads. I don't get a commission. You don't want to buy a set of beads? Fine, make your own. We had devotees in Russia during the USSR. They were thrown in jail for practicing the opiate of the people. They took that Russian bread in prison, bread and water. They'd take the bread, press it into a ball, poke a straw through it to make a hole through it, dry it in the sun, take a sheet off their bed sheet or whatever rag they had to sleep on, and they made japa beads. They made these prayer beads out of dried Russian black bread and a strip of cloth. And they were chanting on. So don't tell me you can't make beads. Oh, he has some to give away, a charitable Vaishnava. Chant one round of japa a day. I mean, we chant a minimum of 16. The more you chant, the more the better. But it takes what? 5 to 10 minutes, max. 8 minutes, 7 minutes, something like that. Make a vow. I'm going to chant one round of japa for a month, every day for 1 month. And you see what happens. You don't want to do that. Well, that's, I don't know about that. The mind has so many issues. Fine. Read Bhagavad Gita. I meant the Rosetta, that key which opens up all the Vedic literatures, all the principles of the Vedas. Read Bhagavad Gita 5 minutes a day. 1 or 2 verses and comment, but read the right Gita. There's a Bhagavad Gita for golfers. Arjuna is the caddy, and Krishna's the caddy, and Arjuna is the man playing golf. I mean, what? Bhagavad Gita, it's a whole thing. There's so many speculations. Read Bhagavad Gita from a genuine practitioner of Bhagavad Gita. Srila Prabhupada, coming in a line of pure masters from time immemorial. We'll give you a copy of Bhagavad Gita. We sell them for $10. I mean, how much does a cup of Starbucks cost? You don't have to say, I don't want to implicate anybody. But instead of getting a cup of coffee at Starbucks, buy yourself a Bhagavad Gita. If you buy a Bhagavad Gita, if not, we will give you a copy of Bhagavad Gita. If you want to buy a copy, or we'll give you a Gita, you read it 5 minutes. 5 minutes a day. And after 1 month, if your life is not profoundly changed, give it back. You can come to me. I will give your money back. Not if you got one for free, but, there's no loss. So that's our humble appeal. It's a new year. It's a time people are reflective, contemplative. It's a time of resolutions. Make a resolution that makes a difference. Get a copy of Bhagavad Gita. Read 5 minutes a day. There's no loss. Chanting on these prayer beads, which saints and sages and serious practitioners of spiritual life have been doing since time immemorial. They're not all fools and idiots. It works. You don't have millions of people all over the planet doing something and it doesn't work. People are fruitive. If they don't get a result, they're not going to do it. So, And if you don't have time, people that don't, the average American spends, and I forget exactly what it is, you can Google it when you go home. I think it's a day and a half or 2.5 days, the aggregate total through their life, waiting for the light to turn red. You take all the time you sat there twiddling your thumbs, thinking about who knows what. It adds up to like 2.5 days of your life gone, waiting for the light to turn red. And you don't have time, 5 minutes a day to read Bhagavad Gita? Oh, I don't have time. You get time for MSNBC. So, and if you can't do any of those things, you can't chant, you can't read, come to the temple and do a little service. Come here and do a little something simple. Sweep the patio, wash some dishes. As you clean the temple, you will find that your heart becomes clean. Krishna's in the heart of the Supreme Lord, is in everyone's heart. And as you do some seva, some service, he will clean your heart. So we can in there's some suggestions on resolutions, and we should end, isn't it? I think so. Yeah, it's a few minutes before 7. I can end on time, believe it or not. All right, thank you for sitting so patiently. We wish you all a very happy New Year with...
I have one question.
You have one question. Can we finish it in 2 minutes?
1 minute.
1 minute.
No,
Good?
that's okay. I don't need it.
No, they want to hear you.
Okay.
And it also goes
Sure.
online.
My question is, you talk about the vision, how we can change the vision. Talk
Yes.
about the telescope, how you twist it and you can, nothing gonna change.
Yeah.
Okay. What is to your opinion, what is the best and greatest power to change your vision? Because everybody look for it. They're trying to change a vision, but they don't know the secret of the power.
Very nice question, and thank you for listening. It has to work. It has to work. In other words, we can try so many different things, but if we don't get a taste, I'll give you an example, and we'll be quick. It's a thought exercise. Everybody here in the room, you can all practice it. You ready? You tuned in, young men? Ready. Do not think of the color red. Don't think of red. We'll give it a few minutes. How's that working out for you? Red, 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 red. Right? It's banging in your head. All right. Now, don't think of the color blue. How's that working out? But red's gone, isn't it? It's displaced by something else. We all are driven by rasa. We all get a taste from things. Whatever we're doing, you know, whether it's skydiving or whether it's, I don't know, whatever it may be, whatever activity, surfing, whatever, you know, I don't know what it is, bowling. People still square dance. I mean, whatever it is, you get some taste from it. But that taste does not actually satisfy. If I have oil and water, I can shake as long as I like. As soon as I leave them alone, they separate. They do not. So we are spirit. We're in the material world. It's like oil and water, and we're trying to get that ras, that taste. We're spiritual trying to get it from material. Unless you practice something genuinely spiritual, and as I mentioned, associating with the Supreme, piece of metal in iron, if a piece of metal in fire will become like fire. If we associate with Krishna, the Supreme, through his holy name, through his words, through his service, we will get a taste that satisfies. We will like it. We will give. I mean, many people. Srila Prabhupada came to America in 1965. Now, I don't know if you were in America in 1965. One of the sayings amongst, and everyone was, you know, if you're under 35, everyone was becoming a hippie. And one of the mantras was, dogs run free, so why can't we? Well, you're not a dog, that's the first thing, but grow your hair long, take intoxication, and I have to say it, free, you know, relationships, men and women, just go for it. And that was the wave that was taking over the nation. Srila Prabhupada said if you want to practice serious yoga, Jesus says, blessed are the pure of heart, for they shall see God. Now you can map that like a convert, like a mathematical equation. Pure of heart equals what? You'll see God. If you're pure of heart, you'll see God. Pure of heart equals you'll see God. Now a simple converse. You add a factor to one side to the other side and it still equals itself. Basic algebra. So if you're not pure of heart, what happens to seeing God? Pure of heart, see God. Not pure of heart, ding, 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 ding. What happens over here? Help me out. You will not see God. Way to go, my friend. You will not see God. So you have to become pure of heart. But so Prabhupada said, if you want to become pure, you got to stop all this nonsense. He sailed right into America. Everyone was white, Christian, Anglo-Saxon. If you weren't a male, white, Christian, Anglo-Saxon in America, you were second rate. I mean, even if you were Catholic, you were a little suspicious. So the whole thing changed because people got a higher taste. They gave up meat, they gave up intoxication, they gave up LSD, they gave up cigarettes. Why? Prabhupada said, I didn't bribe them. He was a poor sadhu from India. He didn't bribe them because he gave them a higher taste. So our point is, take these suggestions. Try it for a month. Try chanting the holy name. You can do it in the morning when you first get up. Do it before you have your breakfast. Figure out a time that works for you. But don't do it while you're driving the car and listening to the radio and doing whatever, you know. Sit down peacefully and chant the holy name. You will get a taste. You will get a glimpse into the spiritual world. You will get encouragement. Everything will fall away. Even drinking tea. People are shocked from India. Yeah. Okay, we can end there. Thanks a lot. Hare Krishna. Oh, so now what happens? We have a short chanting, and then we serve out a fantastic Krishna Prasad meal. And then at 10:30, where do we all meet? Balboa Theater. At Balboa Theater downtown to chant the holy name. Hare Krishna.